right, Nintendo Direct. The big one. The Nintendo Direct. We'll talk about the good, the bad, and the, what's going on here kind of situation. So if you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, hype the video if you can. It's a new feature on YouTube. It's really cool. Helps stuff get discovered, which is really nice. First of all, the Mario 40th anniversary. Off with a bang. We love our Mario. We love that little guy over there. You see him, yeah, wahoo, yeah, good boy. The Mario movie sequel is now officially the Super Mario Galaxy movie. My favorite game of all time is now becoming a movie. So I am like beyond hyped. Mario Galaxy, like, mwah. Greatest game of all time. If you've never played Mario Galaxy, what is wrong with you? To go with that, they are releasing Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. They didn't mention this in the Direct, but the Switch 2 version has 4K docked mode, 1080p handheld. Both versions have extra content in the form of Rosalina's storybook. The storybook is now in Mario Galaxy 2, but this is where it starts getting a little bit weird. I reckon they did that for those people who have already bought Mario Galaxy 1 in Super Mario 3D All-Stars, because that doesn't have the extra storybook stuff, which we will get to in a second. To go with that, the storybook is now being sold in real life, which is awesome. I think that is really cool. And there's also some very beautiful amiibo, which, you know me. They're coming out later next year though, so we have to wait a little bit longer for that. However, this is where like it starts getting a little bit just like, oh, what's going on? So first of all, for those who have already bought Super Mario 3D All-Stars and in turn, Mario Galaxy, does this version get the Switch 2 upgrade? You can split up Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 as well, so you can buy 1 or 2 digitally if you don't want one or the other. So for me, the natural thing is I would buy Mario Galaxy 2, but that's gonna have the Switch 2 features of 4K, extra storybook. But my Mario Galaxy 1, is this gonna be stuck in 1080p land? I feel like there should be some update to kind of bring that game to parity with the Switch 2 version. However, I'm not holding my breath because it's Nintendo and they probably won't. And to top it all off with this package of Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, that is gonna cost you $70 US if you wanna buy both games. If you wanna buy a singular game, they are going to be $40 each, but if you buy the bundle, you get $10 off. Thanks, Nintendo. Anyway, let's move on. So that was the first game. Next comes Mario Tennis Fever. I have been burnt by Switch sports games, like Mario Strikers Battle League. Put that in the bin. I can't believe they sold that as a full price game, and I can't believe that some Nintendo news sites rated it a 9 out of 10. Alrighty. Mario Tennis Fever actually looks really cool. The adventure mode looks really fleshed out and you can swap rackets. So I'm gonna keep my eye on that warily. I might buy it, I might not, we'll see. Probably not, but it looks a lot better than the previous Switch sports games, so there you go. Mario Wonder is getting a Switch 2 edition, and I think this looks really silly and fun, but I do have a big question, which I don't think was talked about in the Direct. You've got stuff like tag, hide and seek, like a competitive versus mode to play with your friends. It just looks like a really cool area where you can get some friends together, have a lot of fun, like some party modes in Mario Wonder, which is really great. I think that's a really good addition to like the race mode that they had in the original game. So cool, good on you. But the thing is, will this be available online? This is a very selfish question because me, online, YouTube, for me, I would like it to be online, but you know Nintendo, don't you? They're also selling a talking flower in real life, which is, like, that's cool. I probably won't buy one, but unless I want to buy like 500 and they all start talking to each other, and then that would just be like a living hell. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book was also announced as part of the 40th anniversary, and for me, Yoshi games are hit and miss. Sometimes you have some really cool Yoshi games, and other times you have some stinkers. Yoshi's Island on SNES, perfect game, so good. Yoshi's Story 64, you know, a little bit out there, but still, great game. Yoshi's Woolly World, oh, unbelievable. Yoshi's New Island on 3DS, no, that goes in the bad pile. Yoshi's Crafted World, I'm putting that in the bad pile. Whoever made that soundtrack with the stupid pan flute you need to go in the bin. So I guess we'll wait and see whether this is going to be a cool Yoshi or a lame Yoshi. But the art style at least looks really nice, so I'll give them that. They also announced an art section for the new Nintendo Museum in Kyoto. So if you ever choose to go to Japan and visit the Nintendo Museum, I have fantastic experience, but now there's this new art section, so I guess I'm gonna have to go again. That was all for the Mario 40th anniversary. So for those coping for a mainline Mario game, no. The mainline Mario game was Donkey Kong Bonanza, all right? See, like, just a bit of common sense. Next, just gonna run through a few third-party games or some smaller first-party games. Then we're gonna get to the meat of it. Just the things that are kind of like, I don't like what's going on here. So we're just gonna quickly fly through this and then we'll get to the big meat of it all. Tomodachi Life coming in spring 2026, still no hard release date, but it looks very funny, looks very silly. I am very excited to play Tomodachi Life. If you've never played the original, it is just very funny. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is coming January 22nd, 2026. I am excited for this game. I went to a Square Enix preview last week and I got to play it early. There is a video on it up there, so make sure you check that out. And it is very, very good. For me, someone who's never played a Final Fantasy game ever, to play it for the first time and to feel it playing so well, very cool. So definitely looking out for that one. In a move that has shocked absolutely everyone and absolutely no one at the same time, somehow the Virtual Boy has returned. Nintendo Switch Online expansion members can now choose to play Virtual Boy games in stereoscopic 3D if you choose to buy an actual replica Virtual Boy set. I saw that and was like, this is the stupidest thing ever. And then I saw the price of $100 and then thought, people are gonna buy this. If you don't want to buy the full-on Virtual Boy replica set, you can buy a cardboard version, which will only set you back $30. So, you know, at least there's a saving there. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is coming out November 6, 2025, and this looks sick. It looks smooth as, which is great to see for a Hyrule Warriors game. You can tag team with your allies and you can have different combos. I think that's really cool. Very good to see that just chugging along nicely. Very excited to pick that up and play that for you guys, so look forward to that in a couple months. Kirby Air Riders is having Amiibo as well, which, great. But also, the Amiibo are swappable. Oh, yeah. You know me. I see the Amiibo and I am like, yeah, all right. Metroid Prime 4 has a release date of, I don't even remember, let me check. December 4th, 2025. So it is coming this year. To all the Nintendo critics out there on the internet, including those former employees who were worried about Metroid Prime. What are you doing? There's a bike mode, which looks actual sicko mode cool, and more Amiibo to go with it as well. So you know me, I see them Amiibo and I'm like, There's also a new Fire Emblem game, which they saved to the very end, and the art style looks very clean. I'm not a Fire Emblem guy, so for me, I probably won't get it, but it looks really cool. So there you go. So this year's lineup is looking actual stacked. Like, literally stacked. We got Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, which is releasing October. We've got Pokemon Legends ZA. We've got Kirby Air Riders. We've got Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. And then we also have Metroid Prime 4, all coming in the next, 4 months. And that's pretty crazy. All right, now we're getting to the meat of it all. And this is where it's starting to turn into a trend where I'm looking at it and I'm like, hey, what's going on here? Not a huge fan of this. Donkey Kong Bonanza is getting DLC. At first you hear that and you're like, great, Donkey Kong Bonanza is getting DLC. And you're like, awesome. And it's available today. And I'm like, great, this is awesome. You can go to DK Island, which is great, which is cool. And there's an Emerald Rush mode, which is like a roguelike new mode that they're adding into Donkey Kong Bonanza. So don't get me wrong, that's really cool. However, the kicker is it's $20. And for me, for someone who actually loved Donkey Kong Bonanza to the point where I'm putting it in my top 3 game of all time, the game just came out 2 months ago. And so to get smacked with some $20 DLC after you paid $70 for this game, mind you, on release, it just feels a little bit, what's going on here? Now, the Emerald Rush mode itself looks really cool. It looks a lot like Splatoon 3's side order mode. So it's like a roguelike mode. You get lots of emeralds, you get perks, which give you, you're going to get a different run every time. So the replayability is really big. However, I really just feel like it should have been part of the base game, or this should have been announced a little bit later on, because it honestly feels like, looking at DK Island, you see it and you're like, this could have been part of the main game. For those people who have bought the DLC already and have gone through it, a lot of people are saying there's no collectibles in DK Island, it's just a place you can go to. But the Emerald Rush is kind of like the real meat of the DLC itself. So just this one mode alone, is that enough to justify a $20 DLC 2 months after a game released? I don't know. Now, the big thing is, for me, I am a content creator, and so I will probably buy it because I play a lot of Nintendo games as my job. And so for me, I probably will pick this up, but I will pick this up begrudgingly because it just feels a little bit like a low blow. And look, you could argue that this mode is completely separate from Donkey Kong Bonanza, and if it were to be included in the full game, then it would kind of detract from the actual story. And sure, like, I get that, but also, it's just the timing of it. Like, I'm pretty sure Splatoon 3's DLC, that released a lot later, like at least 6 months down the road. If you look at games like Breath of the Wild's DLC, that was released about 6 months after the game released, and it gave it a little bit of new life. For a game to have paid DLC 2 months after, I just feel like that's too soon. So yeah, that's where I'm sitting with that, but that's not the worst part, alright? Pokemon Legends ZA. Look, I am excited to play a Pokemon Legends game. I'm not normally a Pokemon guy, but Pokemon Legends Arceus I really liked, and I want to pick up Legends ZA. But that's getting paid DLC. They've announced paid DLC, and the game's not even out yet. That's not even a low blow, that's a high blow to the face for those who are wanting to play this new Pokemon game to its fullest. And locking, like, they showed all of these new mega Pokemon evolutions. A few of them are locked behind this paid DLC. This is turning into the equivalent of buying, like, a deluxe edition of a game before it releases to get extra cosmetics and skins and stuff. But it's like game-altering stuff where, if you're battling Pokemon and you want your mega blurple Pokemon and it's locked behind a paid DLC, you're gonna be at a disadvantage, and I feel like that is a little bit gross. So that's most of my rambling. Like, there were some really cool announcements with this Nintendo Direct. It was a big one, and there were a lot of cool games, and in terms of, like, variety and scope for games coming out over the next 6 months, we are very, very good. It's not just gonna be your mainline Mario, Zelda kind of stuff. Like, there is some Mario stuff, there is some Zelda stuff, but there is a lot of other stuff going on, which is great. But it's just these little business decisions which I'm seeing, and I'm like, come on guys, you could be handling this a lot better. Anyway, what do you guys think about the Nintendo Direct? Let me know in the comments below, because it was a big thing. The game's coming out, cool, great. The business decisions that are going on with these games coming out. Anyway, that's all from me. Let me know what you think down below. Remember to bring your A game.